battering DI for my meaty pressure.
Practice makes perfect, but it doesn't really. I have about 2,000 hours in Destiny 2 and I still suck. So what's the secret? It's how you practice. Baseball Hall of Famer pitcher Tom Seaver described pitching as determining what I eat, when I go to bed, and what I do when I'm awake. Clearly, there's a lot more to perfection than simple practice, and understanding what effective training means is arguably the hardest skill to master. By the end of this video, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of the hows, whys, and whens of training, and with that, it'll be onto you to take that knowledge and get good at getting good. If you find this video helpful, please leave a like and maybe subscribe, and without further ado, let's dive into the question of what is training really all about? Training can encompass many things, each of which have their own purpose and relevance. This section of the video will have me cover and explain the different methods of training, what they are and how to utilize them. Studying frame data. Simply put, knowing when characters are punishable, safe when spaced, or when it's your turn is important at any level of play. While learning the exact frame data for every move isn't exactly required, a great place to start is learning what is punishable with a big button. Then, you can climb another layer and discern between moves punishable with mediums and lights, and so on and so forth. Nobody opens up ultimate frame data and learns every button for every character. Learning frame data consists of compounding knowledge over months of playtime, so every time something seemed punishable but you didn't go for it, take a look and add to your ever-growing knowledge of frame data. Creating and running drills. Creating drills is usually the harder part of this. Firstly, figuring out what you need to work on can be difficult, and then creating drills that can effectively train that muscle memory is equally as hard. Despite this, drills you devise should revolve around one thing: Bruce Lee. Specifically, a quote from him: "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." To be less esoteric, what I'm trying to say is honing your execution and reactions across a few simple things is much better than covering a large field of skills and not honing any of them. If you exclusively practice anti-airing, reacting to DI, and maybe delay teching for example, you'll be much scarier than the guy who ran a drill covering 25 different options, and the end results of consistent mechanical training will inevitably surprise you. Advice sets and VODs. Always, always, always get games with better players when you can. Experience is the best teacher, and good players are the best place to farm experience. Play sets, ask for advice, take notes, and if applicable, record the gameplay VOD. You can then watch them back to analyze where you got hit, where you were losing, and if you get any advice, you can cross-reference the advice with the VOD to find situations where you could have played better. Overusing tools to understand them. A very slept on method of training, using and overusing buttons, specials, setups, and etc. can be an excellent way to intuit how to use specific mechanics. If you want to learn the application of Ken's Crouch Strong for example, go into games and use that button excessively. You'll build a repertoire of experience that encompasses when to use the button, when not to use it, where it's effective, its utility, and so on and so forth. This applies to any weapon you can add to your arsenal. Simply learning and experimenting firsthand is the ultimate technique to mastering a specific tool. Training outside the game. Outside the game, your best improvement to your mental happens. Reading books, watching videos, and studying articles on things such as mind games, work-life balance, and learning how to train are all excellent methods to improve. While the improvements may not be as cut and dry as, say, learning a new combo, it's inevitable that the literature you study will improve your performance in aspects of fighting games that have no quantifiable metric, for example, learning to guess better. And lastly, the most ignored way to train, taking a break. Taking a break can often be the best form of training. Most of us play too much and don't properly balance rest periods. Sometimes a break can be all you need. Your brain is a muscle after all, and it needs to rest just as it needs to be trained.
That is disgusting. Get that out of my face. No hours in practice mode, rude boy.
When any new player picks up a fighting game, the first thing they're told is to get to grips with the mechanics. When they get a little better, they're told to work on some more optimal combos. And when they finally get even better, they neglect training because they feel just playing the game is enough. See how backwards that sounds? No matter your level or your experience or the training you've done up until this point, in the same way you learn how to do motion inputs, you learn how to manipulate the minute interactions in neutral to optimize your whiff punishes. It sounds far-fetched, if anything, to think something as vague as your ability to force whiffs in neutral can simply be labbed, but it's true. Of course, it's not always as easy as just booting up training mode, but you need to understand that regardless of your level, training is always the key to improving. They say masters require 10,000 hours in a field to become proficient. If you think you can hit that without training a good amount, you'll be in for a rude awakening. The key things training can do for you, in my personal experience, is help you overcome plateaus, educate you on game intricacies, and give you confidence. It should go without saying, but players who find themselves stagnating in MR doesn't matter, but it's synonymous with skill level in this example. That's a whole other topic. We can't be here forever. Often need need training to first identify their weaknesses and then hammer them out. You also cannot understate the importance of the game knowledge gained from training. It sounds unnecessary because hey, you'll just learn the game from playing the game, right? Well, did you know that Kim's drive rush forward heavy kick is +1? Or you can get Oki when punishing Sims level 2? Or that Ken's dash up throw is not real? Maybe you knew all of these, maybe you knew none. But regardless, there's so many small interactions that you end up assuming are real or true or plus, and it's only through training you'll be able to learn to challenge your assumptions and tighten your gameplay as a result of it. Lastly, training helps you build confidence. When games get close and rounds get to the wire, a lack of confidence can hinder your ability to, say, anti-air. Confidence in your abilities and confidence in your mechanics, combos and setups means you won't second guess yourself, won't hesitate, and won't fail to hit that clutch DP for the game. At this point, you hopefully see the benefits of focused and efficient training, so you're probably asking yourself, is there a set amount of time I should spend training? The short answer, no. There isn't a certain defined amount of training you need to accomplish each week before continuing to mindlessly grind ranked.
But that's hard to explain to people. I think new players especially think I have to spend 100 hours in training mode before I'm allowed to go online. And it's actually the opposite.
You train when you're weak or when you want to get stronger. Training is good, but training without a purpose is ineffective. It's important whenever you play to identify moments where training can help you. Maybe you missed a DP, time to run some drills. Maybe you got counter hit in a weird spot, better look at the frame data. No matter how big or how small, identify elements of your game plan that need work and translate them into training using the methods outlined in the previous section. Now, detecting what exactly you need to improve on isn't as easy as it sounds, and for a lot of people it's actually their weakest skill. Simply put, the best approach is this. Watch your VOD and find moments you got hit and ask yourself why. I know this advice is ubiquitous and honestly a little overused, but do not underestimate its effectiveness. 9 times out of 10, if you're getting hit, there's something you could have done better, and if you can't find what it is, step a little further back and look at the bigger picture. Say you got hit by a sweep while in neutral. It's tempting to say, I got hit because I didn't block, and while that's true, if you step back and look at the moments leading up to that, you'll see you might have been wiggling back and forth aimlessly, not concerned about blocking your toes. Or maybe it's as simple as you habitually walk forward after a close fireball, leaving your opponent with the easiest sweep of their life. It's not easy, but you won't get better without trying, so continue honing your skills in identifying mistakes and then acting on them, and you'll naturally find the perfect balance to training. Getting good at getting good, TLDR. Step 1. Identify when you need to train. Like we just touched up on, you train when you're weak. So identify when you may be plateauing or messing up your execution or reacting poorly, and in those moments recognize that the solution is training. Then you can apply the different training strategies via step 2. Formulate training solutions. Take your issue and find the ideal training strategies from the ones we spoke about earlier. Mold these strategies to the shape of your problem and then execute them. Step 3. Put those solutions into practice. Training is pointless if you don't act on it. Now, we haven't spoken about this yet, but it's incredibly important to be able to apply your practice in real games. Doing 10 minutes of DP drills won't give you perfect anti-airs, but keep your eyes peeled in game for situations you've practiced, and when they arise, use them as tests. You may not pass every time, but you'll slowly pass more and more, until it becomes second nature. Speaking on this process takes about 30 seconds. Enacting on this process takes about 30 hours. Safe to say, go easy on yourself. If you fuck up, brush yourself off and get going again. You're not training to become an Evo champion overnight, you're training to get better than you were yesterday. Step 4. Get into a routine. Run some basic drills daily, do weekly VOD reviews, get into a routine of practice to ensure you don't fall behind as you strive to get better and better. Personally, I have a few drills that cover my weak areas, one of which being anti-airing, that I do daily. These drills are actually a slightly modified version of the ones created by FChamp. Here's a link to his video if you'd like to check them out. And with that, the 4-step plan to get good at getting good is complete. Now, I'm just a content creator. I can only tell you to get good, the rest is on you. If you ever feel lost or need some guidance, join my Discord. I'll always be around and I'm more than happy to help if you just send me a message. Thank you guys for watching up until this point. Hopefully with the advice outlined in this video, you'll be able to work on and pay attention to your training techniques, methods, and frequency. And I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before you notice the improvement. As always, I'd greatly appreciate if you guys could like, comment, sub, and again, thank you all for all the support. The channel keeps growing and it only makes me want to get better and better at providing content and education to anyone with an ear to listen. Don't forget to join the Discord below. And with that, that's all I have for you guys. Peace.